The world has never been fair. And the sooner you face that truth, the sooner you'll stop living like a victim. Right now, as you're listening to this, someone less intelligent than you is being praised. Someone weaker is holding more power. And someone with half your skill is living the life you want, simply because they understand how the human mind really works. Since you were a kid, you were taught to play by the rules, while others were already breaking the board apart. You were told to be nice, while the strategic ones were conquering ground. You were told to wait for respect, while others were already taking it. The game was never fair, and it never will be. It's rigged against those who still believe good intentions beat strategy. More than 500 years ago, Machiavelli decoded the anatomy of power. He revealed why the innocent fall and why the ruthless rise. Today, I'm going to show you 8 dark principles of human psychology that will turn you from someone who's overlooked into someone dangerously confident, untouchable, impossible to ignore. But here's a warning. Once you see how power really works, you'll never be able to unsee it. I learned this the hard way. I was that guy who always had the right answers, and nobody listened. Smart, hard-working, genuine, and completely invisible. I watched confident fools get promoted, manipulators build empires, and charismatic sociopaths attract followers, while the honest ones ate alone. Until I finally saw the truth no one wants to admit. The world doesn't reward goodness, it rewards strength. It doesn't respect good hearts, it respects strong presence. It doesn't care about your character, it cares about your psychological dominance. That truth shattered my innocence. But it also freed me from a lifetime of frustration and invisibility. Number 1, fairness is a psychological trap. Here's the first brutal truth. The idea of fairness is a lie sold to keep you weak and compliant. Every time you wait to be treated fairly, someone else is taking what you wanted. Every time you play by imaginary rules, others are rewriting the game in their favor. Every time you expect reciprocity, manipulators are exploiting your predictable behavior. You were taught that being fair makes you noble. In reality, it makes you prey. Think about your own life. How many times have you respected someone who never respected you? How many times have you helped someone who never helped you back? How many times have you waited your turn, while others cut the line right in front of you? That's not bad luck. That's mental programming designed to make you lose. Machiavelli observed something powerful. Men should be treated generously or destroyed, because they can take revenge for small injuries. But for great ones, they lack the strength to respond. This isn't about physical violence, it's about psychological warfare. When you wound someone's ego just a little, they remember and they plot revenge. But when you dominate someone completely, they accept their position and move on. Most people get this wrong. They live in the middle ground. They give weak pushback to strong personalities. They set soft boundaries with aggressive people. They try to reason with those who only think in terms of self-interest. And that creates the worst possible outcome. You look weak, and you make enemies who see you as an easy target. So, what does real psychological dominance look like? When someone disrespects you, you don't argue or explain why they're wrong. You show, through your actions, that disrespecting you comes with immediate and heavy social consequences. You don't negotiate with people who don't respect your worth. You don't try to convince anyone to treat you better. You build situations where treating you well is in their best interest, and treating you poorly costs them something they value. Stop being fair with people who aren't fair with you. Start being strategic with people who only understand power dynamics. Most people think being ruthless means losing control, snapping out, or acting from anger. They couldn't be more wrong. True ruthlessness is the opposite. It's ice-cold, emotional discipline. Ruthless people don't get angry, they get strategic. They don't react on impulse, they respond with calculation. They don't make decisions from hurt feelings. They decide from a logical evaluation of what serves their interests. That's why emotionally reactive people never build real influence. They're predictable. They become easy prey for anyone who knows which buttons to push. They hand over their power every time someone makes them lose control. Psychologically dominant people understand that emotions are information, not instruction. They feel anger, frustration, disappointment, but they never let those feelings dictate their actions. Let me give you an example. Someone publicly embarrasses you or tries to undermine your reputation. The emotionally reactive person gets defensive, argues, tries to explain why they're right. That only makes them look weak, and it validates the attacker's power. The person with ruthless discipline handles it differently. They register the attack, feel the emotion, and then ask, what response will damage this person's social standing the most while elevating mine? Maybe they ignore the attack completely, showing the aggressor isn't even worth their energy. Maybe they respond with a cold, factual correction that makes the other person look foolish. Maybe they use the attack as a chance to demonstrate superior composure. The key is simple. Your response must be chosen, not triggered. Machiavelli understood this. Injuries should be inflicted all at once, so their bitterness fades quickly and causes less offense. When you respond to psychological attacks, make your move decisive and final. Don't get dragged into endless drama. Don't get caught in emotional back and forth. Make one calculated move that ends the conflict in your favor. Now, think about the most psychologically strong people you know. Do they lose their temper often? Get into shouting matches? Let others control their emotions? No. They maintain emotional sovereignty. They choose their battles. They respond with strategy, not emotion. And that emotional discipline becomes a source of massive psychological power. When others realize they can't manipulate your emotions, they start treating you with caution and with respect. Master your emotional reactions. Let others react while you respond strategically. Number 2. Psychological dominance is worth far more than being liked. This truth destroys the people-pleasing mindset you were raised with. Being respected is infinitely more valuable than being liked. When people merely like you, they take risks with your feelings because they assume you'll forgive them. But when they respect your psychological strength, they think twice before crossing you, because they know there will be consequences. Nice people are safe. They're predictable, easy to take advantage of because everyone knows they won't strike back in any meaningful way. Psychologically dominant people are dangerous. They're unpredictable. They're treated with caution because everyone knows they can and will defend their own interests. Think about your own social circles. Who gets the most respect? The nicest person or the one with the strongest presence? Who do people consult before making big decisions? The one who agrees with everyone or the one whose approval actually matters? Machiavelli was clear. It is much safer to be feared than loved if one must choose between the two. That doesn't mean being a tyrant. It means being someone others know they can't disrespect without paying a price. It means having a reputation for being fair but formidable. And here's how that looks in practice. Likeable, people say yes to things they don't want to do because they're afraid of disappointing others. Dominant people say no without guilt. because they put their own interests first. Likable people accept disrespect and hope it stops. Dominant people address it immediately and decisively. Likable people want to be included in everything. Dominant people are selective about what truly deserves their presence. Likable people explain and justify their decisions. Dominant people make decisions and expect others to adapt. That psychological shift from seeking likability to embodying dominance is profound. You stop asking, "Will they like me if I do this?" and start asking, "Will this action increase or decrease my social power?" You stop trying to make everyone comfortable and learn to be comfortable with their discomfort when it serves your interests. You stop chasing approval and become the person whose approval others chase. And this has nothing to do with becoming an asshole. It's about becoming someone whose respect must be earned, instead of someone who gives respect freely to people who don't deserve it. Build your psychological dominance by consistently demonstrating your standards and boundaries. Let others compete for your approval instead of you competing for theirs. Number 3, decisive action creates psychological superiority. This is where most people destroy their influence. They make weak moves repeatedly, instead of strong moves rarely and intentionally. Emotionally weak people are constantly threatening consequences they never deliver. They give endless warnings, training others not to take them seriously. They try to control through complaining, pleading, or emotional manipulation. This builds a terrible reputation. Everyone sees that you bark loudly, but never bite. People learn to tune out your complaints because your warnings carry no real weight. Psychologically dominant people operate differently. They give fewer warnings, but when they act, their actions are decisive and unforgettable. Machiavelli observed, "If an injury must be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared." Translated into psychology, when you need to demonstrate power, do it so clearly and definitively that no one even thinks about testing you again. Let me give you a practical example. Someone in your social circle keeps disrespecting you, interrupting you, dismissing your opinions, making jokes at your expense. The weak response is to keep asking them to stop, to get irritated, to complain to others about their behavior. That only reinforces their dominance, because they see they can affect your emotional state without facing any real consequences. The psychologically dominant response is different. You note the pattern, then you act once, but you act decisively. Maybe you expose their behavior publicly in a way that embarrasses them. Maybe you remove them from something they value. Maybe you demonstrate your social power by turning others away from their behavior. The secret is this: your response must be strong enough to leave a mark, not because of one isolated incident, but because of a pattern of repeated disrespect. That creates psychological impact. People learn that disrespecting you carries real cost. They learn that you don't make empty threats. When you act with force. This principle applies across every area of life. Instead of trying to convince people of your value, demonstrate it in a way so powerful they can't forget. Instead of being always available and helpful, be strategically unavailable sometimes, so people realize they need you more than you need them. Instead of arguing your point over and over, take actions that make your position undeniable. Threaten less. But when you act, follow through completely. Build a reputation for decisive action, not for empty warnings. Number 4, perception management is reality control. This is the most sophisticated form of psychological influence. It's understanding that how people perceive you matters more than the objective reality of who you are. Most people focus only on being good and assume others will naturally recognize their value. That's naive. Human psychology doesn't work that way. People don't have time to investigate your character deeply. They make snap judgments based on surface signals and social proof. If you don't actively manage how others perceive you, someone else will manage it for you, and it won't be in your favor. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few truly know what you are. In other words, for most people you'll ever meet, your image is your reality. Your reputation is your power, and your perceived value becomes your actual value in their minds. Psychologically sophisticated people know this, and they actively shape their image. They control the narrative about who they are before anyone else gets the chance to define it for them. And no, that's not being fake. That's strategy. It's using your authenticity intelligently. Think about social media. Two people accomplish the exact same thing. One of them documents it strategically, highlighting competence, results, progress. The other one stays quiet, thinking, my work speaks for itself. Who gets more recognition, more opportunities, more respect? The one who managed perception. In face-to-face situations, this becomes even more powerful. Your body language, your tone of voice, your clothing, your social posture, they all speak for you before you say a single word. If you walk into a room with strong posture, direct eye contact, and a confident voice, people instantly categorize you as someone important. But if you slouch, avoid eye contact, and speak with hesitation, they unconsciously file you under unimportant. The principle is simple. People treat you according to how you train them to see you. And here's how perception management works in practice. You control the stories people hear about you by sharing your successes strategically and downplaying your failures. You associate yourself with high-value people and environments. Because status transfers through proximity, you maintain a bit of mystery about who you are, so people fill in the blanks with positive assumptions. Instead of knowing your weaknesses, you project confidence even when you feel uncertain, because confidence is contagious and insecurity repels. Your reputation is the most valuable asset you have. Protect it, cultivate it, use it strategically. Number 5. Controlling the narrative is psychological warfare. This is the ultimate power move. It's not just about controlling what happens. It's about controlling how what happens gets interpreted and remembered. Every situation can be told in multiple ways. The same behavior can look like leadership or arrogance, confidence or selfishness, strength or aggression. Whoever controls the narrative controls the meaning. Most people focus only on their actions and forget the story being told about those actions. That's a huge mistake. In human psychology, the story often matters more than the facts. Think about any conflict you've ever witnessed. The person who tells their version first and most convincingly almost always wins in the court of public opinion, no matter who was actually right. Machiavelli said it best: men in general judge more by appearances than by reality. People don't have time to investigate everything deeply. They rely on simplified versions of the story told by those they trust. And whoever controls that story controls what people believe is true. That's why you must master the art of shaping the narrative in your favor. When you win, control the story of how you won. When you fail, control the story of what you learned. When someone attacks you, control the counter-narrative. This is how narrative warfare works in practice. When you make a difficult decision that might be unpopular, frame it in terms of principles and long-term thinking, not short-term self-interest. When someone tries to paint you as the villain, don't just defend yourself. Reframe the attack as proof of that person's weakness or jealousy. When you achieve something significant, tell the story in a way that highlights your strategy and character, not luck or raw talent. Want a concrete example? You decide to cut off a friend who was draining your energy. They might go around telling people you're selfish, that you abandoned them when they needed you most. If you don't control that story, others might see you as cold and heartless. But if you get ahead of it and shape the narrative yourself, I had to set boundaries with someone who was affecting my mental health and refused basic reciprocity. People will view you as someone who values themselves appropriately. Same action, completely different perception. Advanced narrative control is about anticipating how your actions will be interpreted and getting ahead of negative readings before they take hold. Always think not just about what you're doing, but how what you do will be seen and talked about. Shape the story before others shape it for you. Number 6. Systematic consequences create psychological authority. The most sophisticated form of influence doesn't rely on emotion, threats, or manipulation. It relies on predictable systems where certain behaviors automatically lead to certain outcomes. This is psychological mastery, because it removes your personality from the equation. People can argue with your decisions, but they can't argue with a system that runs on its own. They can try to manipulate your emotions, but they can't manipulate automatic consequences. When your authority depends on getting angry, making threats, or reacting, you're giving other people control over your power. They can provoke you, throw you off balance, and make you negotiate your own boundaries. But when you build clear systems, where respect leads to access and disrespect leads to exclusion, you take complete control of the psychological dynamic. Machiavelli said it best. A wise ruler should rely on what is within his own control, not on what is within the control of others. And here's how systematic authority works in practice. Instead of arguing with people who don't respect your time, you simply become unavailable when they need you. Instead of getting angry at people who take advantage of your generosity, you quietly redirect your help toward those who actually value it. Instead of trying to convince others to treat you better, you create an environment where treating you well benefits them, and treating you poorly costs them something real. Here's a practical example. You have friends who always expect you to plan the gatherings, but they constantly cancel last minute or show up late. The emotional response would be to get frustrated, complain, or guilt trip them. But the systematic response is different. I only plan activities with people who confirm and show up on time. If someone builds a pattern of canceling or being late, you simply stop including them in your plans. No announcement, no threat, no drama. You don't turn it into punishment. You turn it into a natural system. Those who value your effort get more of it. Those who waste it lose access. This creates psychological authority, because people start adjusting their behavior to maintain access to what you offer. And the best part is, they can't argue with the system, because it's logical, not emotional. The most powerful part of this approach is that the system maintains itself. You don't have to keep reminding people of the rules or reinforcing boundaries. The natural consequences do the work for you. Create systems where people's behavior toward you automatically determines their level of access to your value. Let natural consequences teach others how to treat you. Number 7. Silent dominance is ultimate power. This is the final and most crucial lesson. True psychological dominance operates in silence. People who constantly talk about how tough, smart, or ruthless they are usually aren't. They're announcing what they wish they had, instead of demonstrating what they truly control. Real power doesn't need to announce itself. Real influence operates behind the scenes. True dominance is felt, not declared. The most dangerous people in any room are usually the quietest ones. They're observing while others perform. They're calculating while others react. They're positioning themselves while others posture. Think about the most psychologically powerful people you've ever met. Do they constantly remind you of their power? Do they brag about their influence? Do they threaten people who cross them? No, their power is assumed, not announced. Their influence is demonstrated through results, not declarations. Their dominance is communicated through presence, not speeches. Machiavelli captured this perfectly. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. Therefore, one must be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. In other words, be strategically intelligent when the situation calls for cunning, and psychologically strong when it calls for strength. But the key is moving between these modes without ever revealing your strategy. In practical terms, this means your competitors don't see your moves until it's too late to counter them. Your allies only realize how you've positioned them when they're already benefiting from it. Your enemies don't understand who undermined them until their influence has already collapsed. Silent dominance looks like this. You build influence without announcing your ambitions. You position yourself strategically without making your strategy obvious. You gather information about others while revealing as little as possible about yourself. You form alliances that serve your interests without drawing attention from your rivals. This isn't about being sneaky or dishonest. It's about understanding that strategic discretion is far more powerful than tactical transparency. When you operate with silent dominance, people feel your power without knowing how you got it. That makes your influence seem natural and inevitable, not calculated or aggressive. Build your psychological empire in silence. Let others make noise, while you make strategic moves. Demonstrate power through results, not through announcements. And here's the final truth, the one that decides whether you'll remain psychologically dominated or become dangerously confident. If you don't master the dark psychology of human influence, someone who already has will end up controlling your life. This isn't a philosophical debate. It's psychological warfare happening around you every single day. While you've been learning these principles, someone out there has been using them against people who don't understand how they work. Manipulative people exploit those who still believe in fairness. Psychologically dominant individuals position themselves above those who think good intentions matter more than strategic thinking. The choice is brutal but simple. Either you become someone who understands and uses psychological influence, or you remain someone used by those who do. You've been taught to believe that learning these principles makes you bad. And that's exactly what the dominant want you to believe. They want you to stay naive, predictable, and easy to manipulate, while they operate with complete command over human psychology. Every day, you delay putting this into practice. Is another day someone more ruthless is building the influence and respect you want. Every time you choose to be nice instead of strategically formidable, you hand psychological ammunition to those who see kindness as weakness. The world doesn't need more naive people or nice guys who always finish last. The world needs people who understand psychological reality and use that understanding to build lives of genuine influence and unshakable confidence. If these dark truths have awakened something in you, if you're tired of being psychologically dominated by others, then prove it. Like this video to show you're ready to stop being naive. Share it with someone who needs to understand that being nice without psychological strength is just weakness dressed as good intentions. And subscribe, because these lessons are only the beginning of your transformation, from someone who was overlooked to someone impossible to ignore. And remember what you declared in the comments. I refuse to be psychologically dominated by others. Now stop refusing and start dominating. The choice is yours, but choose quickly, because while you're deciding whether to become psychologically dangerous The dangerous ones are already deciding what to do with you.